Welcome student. We are going to study today topic vapor compression reference cycle. In the previous video we already discussed about the basic of refrigeration and do the some numerical on this. So the refrigerator and the heat pump which working on a different cycle. So the different cycle are used in the refrigerant system. So now we are going to discuss vapor compression cycle, which is the most important cycle in a refrigeration system. Simple vapor compression cycle, or you can also say that the saturated VC cycle. In this VC cycle, there are four components are there: evaporator, compressor, condenser, and expansion. And this all four are the open system which is working on a controlled volume at a steady state. So now looking at the layout diagram of the VC cycle, you can say the simple VC cycle. At point A is a saturated vapor refrigerant enter into the compressor. In the compressor, reverse adiabatic compression are there, and the compressor taking the work input from the external means. Then after that compression, the refrigerant is at high temperature and high pressure, then is goes into the condenser. In the condenser, constant pressure, heat rejection are there. So the heat is removed to the surrounding in the condenser, and this vapor refrigerant should be converted into the saturated liquid refrigerant. After that, this saturated liquid refrigerant should be expanded in the expansion valve. So the saturated liquid should be converted into two-phase liquid vapor mixture. Then in the expansion valve, the throttling process is done, working on the throttling process, which means that the enthalpy are constant. At point 3 and 4, the enthalpy are constant. Then the two-phase liquid vapor mixture enter into the evaporator, and the evaporator extract the heat at constant pressure to the storage space, and the two-phase vapor liquid mixture should be converted into the saturated vapor, and then again this saturated vapor should be enter into the compressor, and the compressor adiabatic compression is done in the compressor. Here the at point 1 and 2 the enthalpy are the constant, because in the compressor the isentropic process are there. So in the compressor, before and after, the entropy should be constant. And here in the expansion valve, the throttling process is undergoing in this valve, so the enthalpy are constant at point 3 and 4. So look, now we go to the TS diagram or PS diagram of the VC cycle. Already see the cycle, how the refrigerant is going moving from the compressor, then condenser, the expansion valve, then evaporator. So we look in the TS diagram, PS diagram, how the refrigerant move and how the refrigerant should be behave in TS diagram and the PS diagram. So first we look in the TS diagram. We already say that in the simple VC cycle, the vapor refrigerant should be enter, the saturated vapor should be enter into the compressor, and in the compressor the isentropic process done to the refrigerant. So the entropy should be constant in the compressor. So inlet to the compressor and outlet to the compressor, the point 1 and 2 entropy should be constant. Then at point 2, 2 to 3, the heat rejection, constant pressure heat rejection process are there. So here the pressure should be constant and heat is removed to the surrounding. Then this superheated vapor refrigerant should be converted into the saturated liquid. After that, this saturated liquid should be converted into expansion valve. सर प्लीज़ सर डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो रहा है, अब बोल ही नहीं पा रहे हैं। अरे सर आप चलिए रुकिए, फिर से बोलना होगा, चले आइए। नहीं नहीं फिर से आप नहीं नहीं पॉज नहीं करेंगे। So now come into the how the TS diagram behave in the simple vapor compressor system. So first we look into the TS diagram. In TS diagram, first we take the point at 1. See the point 1. We know that in simple vapor compression cycle, the point 1 should be saturated vapor state. So the refrigerant should be in a saturated vapor state, which is inlet to the compressor. The saturated vapor should be entered into the compressor and the compress adiabatically and come into the state at 2. So the enthalpy at point 1 and 2 should be equal, because in the compressor isentropic process should be done there. So this at point 2 and 3 the entropy should be constant. Now this superheated vapor should be enter into the condenser. In the condenser, the constant pressure heat rejection process are there. So the heat should be rejected to the surrounding, and these superheated vapor converted into the saturated liquid refrigerant. After that, this saturated liquid should be entered into the expansion valve. In the expansion valve, the throttle participants are there. So this refrigerant should be saturated liquid refrigerant should be converted into the two-stage liquid vapor mixture, and this mixture should be entered into the evaporator. In the evaporator, the constant pressure heat addition are there. So the heat should be absorbed from the storage space from 4 to 1. Then this vapor mixture, two-phase mixture should be converted to the saturated vapor. So this process should be continuously running in a anti-clockwise direction. So now come to the PS diagram. This is the PS diagram of simple vapor compression cycle. You can see that at point 1 this is a saturated vapor line, then enter into the compressor from 1 to 1, 1 to 2. After that, this is a constant pressure heat rejection process. Then this superheated vapor should be converted into the saturated liquid. Then after that, in the expansion valve, the throttling process should be there, so that this 3 to 4 the isenthalpy process are there. So this saturated liquid should be expanded into two-phase liquid vapor mixture phase, and the enthalpy should be constant. So the 3 and 4 points should be, the enthalpy should be constant. After that, the two phase will be entered into the evaporator. Engineering models, the another slide is this. When we are going to solve the some engineering models problems, the some points should be remembered before driving the solving the engineering problems. each component should be analyzed as a control volume at its steady state. So when we solving the problem of any imaging model problems are there, so the device should be in a control volume, analyzed as a control volume at a steady state. Dry compression is presumed. In VC cycle, the dry compression should be required because wet compression should reduce the refrigerating effects. So the vapor is a vapor, the refrigerant is a vapor state. So you can see that dry compression should be there in a VC cycle. It's acceptable. Then compressor operate adiabatically. So in the compressor, adiabatic process should be there, and the refrigerant expanding through the wall undergoes the throttling process. We have explained that the expansion wall should be undergone into the throttling process. Then the kinetic and potential energies change are ignored. In the engineering models, this kinetic energy portion should be ignored. So each device should be an open system, so operate under the steady flow condition, hence the steady flow energy equation can be applied. So all 4 devices are open device which is operate under the steady state, so we can apply the steady flow energy equation in this device. So now we are going to apply the steady flow energy equation to different device and find the required output. Next slide, application of the steady flow energy equation. First, we are going to apply in the compressor. You can see in the figures the process 1 to 2, reversible adiabatic isentropic compressor are there. This is a steady flow energy equation, H1 plus, this is inlet condition, this is outlet condition. So you know that the compressor should be perfectly insulated. So compressor should be perfectly insulated, or you can say that the adiabatic process should be done into the compressor. So heat is equal to 0, heat energy should be equal to 0. Then kinetic energy and potential should be neglected. So we neglect the kinetic and put this assumption to the steady flow energy equation. You find that the power input to the compressor should be H2 minus H1, which is the power input should be H2 minus H1. Now come to the other device, the condenser. In the condenser, the process is 2 to 3 constant pressure heat rejection. This is a outlet condition, inlet condition, and this is a outlet condition. We know that condenser doesn't do any work, so the work should be 0, and kinetic energy and potential energy should be neglected. So this assumption should be put into the steady flow energy equation. Then you got the QR is equal to heat rejected equal to H2 minus H3. Now come to the next device, throttling valve or expansion valve. Expansion device. In this, the process is 3 to 4. You can see the TS diagram 3 to 4. The throttling isenthalpic process expansion are there. In the throttling process, no work transfer, no heat transfer, and kinetic and potential energy should be neglected. Put this value into the steady flow energy equation. You got that S3 equal to H4. We already say about that the throttling process should be isenthalpic process. So from where you can got this value. So putting these 3 assumptions into the steady flow energy equation, you got the S3 equal to H4, which is means that isenthalpic process. Now the last one, evaporator. process 4 to 1, constant pressure heat absorption in that evaporator. In the evaporator, you know that the work transfer is 0. The rod didn't do any work. So, and the potential energy and kinetic energy should be 0, neglected. Putting this assumption in the steady flow energy equation, you got the QA equal to QA heat addition is equal to H1 minus H4. Then next slide is the performance parameter. So you applied the energy flow steady flow energy equation in each device. Then you got the value of work done, heat addition and heat rejection in terms of enthalpy. So these values should be put into the Cope formula. So how can you find the performance of coefficient of performance of VC cycle? You know that you also know that the Cope of VC cycle should be desired effect of the work input. You can also say that refrigerant effect upon work input. The refrigerant effect should be found from the evaporator device, which is QA, already seen the QA value, and the work input W in the compressor. So RE equal to QA equal to H1 minus H4, and the work input in the compressor is H2 minus H1. Put the value of this RE and work input in the Cope formula, you got that the Cope of VC cycle should be equal to H1 minus H4 divided by H2 minus H1. From here, you know that in throttling process, throttling valve S3 equal to H4. You can also write this formula like that. The Cope of the VC cycle is equal to H1 minus H3, because H3 equal to H4 is there in the throttling because of throttling process, and H2 minus H1. Then the Cope of Carnot's cycle should be, which will give the maximum Cope, which is equal to TL by TS minus TL. So this is a real cycle formula and this is a reverse Carnot cycle formula. Now next slide, volumetric efficiency of the reciprocating compressor. This topic is very important on the point of numerical point of view. So what is the volumetric efficiency? What do you mean by the volumetric efficiency? Volumetric means simply you can see that the breathing capacity of the compressor. Take an example, like a human being, we are inhaling the air. Suppose we are inhaling the air inlet to the body, the ratio of the air enter into the body to the ratio of the air outlet to the body. So the ratio about that is called the volumetric efficiency. How much volume should be intake and how much volume should be given out from the body. So like that, it defines the ratio of the actual volume entered into the compressor, or the actual volume entered into the compressor to the swept volume. So volumetric efficiency can be expressed into the ratio of actual volume divided by the swept volume. You can see in the figure, this is a clearance volume and this from TDC to BDC, this is a swept volume, and the length of TDC to BDC is stroke length, and this is a bore diameter. So you can write the swept volume like this is a cylindrical shape. So pi by 4 D square into L. This is a soft volume from here. Then actual volume. Actual volume. So what is the mass flow rate and the specific volume into the specific volume. You can say that this is the actual volume. So put the value of this actual volume and self volume in the main formula. You get the this n and k. You see that the self volume in the meter cube and the actual volume in the meter cube per second. So you can change this quantity into the meter per meter cube per second. So you can multiply the n, which is known as the number of revolution per minutes. You can convert into per second. So when you using this formula, the n should be in revolution per second, and the k is the number of cylinder. Suppose there are n number of cylinder, k number of cylinder, so you can put this value. Suppose there are 2 cylinder, you can put 2 value in place of k. Thank you. This is all for today's lecture.